So what we're going to do today is we're going to start designing our bandsaw boxes, and everybody's going to need about 3 sheets of paper at least for today, a pencil, a ruler, but you can use these scales over here. If we run out, you can go grab the rulers out of the wood lab, and a straight edge. So a straight edge would be the triangles that are right here behind my computer in the blue baskets. We can grab those in a minute, but what I'm going to show you guys is just a couple bandsaw box projects that students have done in the past. So this one is Kirby. Marissa Mallory did that one a couple years ago. That one is, yeah, go ahead and, Bobby, could you hit the middle light switch for me, please? Are you going to get it, Avery? Okay, thanks, Bobby. So there's Kirby. I'll show you that one again so you can see it. There it is. Okay, and that one was some logo, but it's like a logo was a bear paw or something like that. That Cameron Whitty did that one, and then this one was a frog. Caitlin Webb did that one. I don't remember who did this one. That was pretty neat. Rennis Fisher did that one. Put a clock on the front of it that actually worked, so that was neat. That's who did that? Kenny was done by Ben.
Mueller?
Not Ben Mueller. He graduated last year.
Oh.
It's on the tip of my Heminger. And then this one was done by Alec Oaks. Kyle was done by Alec Oaks, so that was pretty cool. And then the year before.
Go 2009.
That one was done by Kate Mueller. The wings here were actually the drawer pull, so that was really neat. When you pulled on the wings, the drawer came out, so that was awesome. Chevy symbol, I don't remember who did that one. I think it was Nate Keplinger though. That was supposed to be a maple leaf. Didn't turn out quite as planned, I think. That one, Zach Smith's older brother did that one, but I can't remember his name. That one, Daryl Trent did this one. That one was really, really, really difficult. That was a really good one. And Tristan Mallory did that one.
Ms. Klein said that Gunner's on your bus today, so.
Okay, thanks.
Wait. Where's the drawer at in that one?
This one?
No, that's from the one.
This one, the drawer was the duck head. So the whole duck head came out. And then he would burn the outline of the duck head. Pretty sweet, huh? You like that one? And then this one was a sailboat. Abby Waite did that one. So that's a pretty sweet project there. So those are some examples of some bandsaw box designs that some of the students have done here in the past. I've seen some really, really good, really, really creative ones, and they seem like they get better every year. So I must be doing something right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to draw the outline of your bandsaw box, and we're just going to draw the front view of the bandsaw box. It's not going to be a 3-dimensional sketch. It's not going to be tilted at an angle. It's just going to be flat on, straight, staring at the bandsaw box, the front of it. Okay. So basically, what we're doing is we're drawing our cut lines for the bandsaw box. All right. So I'm going to grab a ruler. Got my ruler, and your boards that you cut were 1 by 6 by 9. Some of you guys, I know most of you haven't cut them all yet. But a board that is 1 by 6 by 9, when you buy it that way, it's not actually 1 by 6 by 9. Does anybody remember what I said yesterday? The size was? Anybody know how thick a 1-inch thick board is, Aiden?
3/4.
Yeah, it's actually 3/4 by
5.
close, 5.5
8.5.
by 9. Okay, so that's the actual size. The thickness doesn't matter because you can't tell the thickness in the front view. All that really matters is that you draw a 5.5 by 9-inch box. And you can either draw your box long ways or tall. You can either draw wide or tall. Okay, I'm just going to draw this one wide. All right, so what you're going to do is you're just going to lay out a line that is 9 inches across. Okay, I started at the 1 and then I put a mark at the 10, so that's 9. Alright, and then what you're going to need to do then is you can connect those dots. And Jacob, can you hand me a orange triangle from that? Awesome, thank you. Okay, so this is called a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and we're going to use this to draw straight lines. So what I'm going to do is I just have this lined up here on my my line. It's perfectly in line, and this is a 90-degree angle, so that's going to help make sure that our rectangles aren't crooked. Okay, and then I'm just going to put my ruler down on top of the triangle, and then I'm going to put a mark at the end of the ruler, and then I'm just going to draw my line. Okay. And otherwise, if you don't use one of these triangles, you're going to end up having like crooked sides, and it's not going to be 5.5 by 9. It's going to end up being something else. Okay, and then for the top one, as long as your lines are exactly 5.5 inches tall, then you don't need the ruler. You just connect the tops. Okay. Definitely do this in pencil though. I'm only doing it in pen so that you guys can see it. All right. Otherwise, I'd be doing this in pencil. That way you can erase your lines and stuff. Okay. So this is your board. This is your 5.5 by 9 board that you guys are all cutting. You have 6 of them. You're going to glue them all together. This is looking at the front face of it. So you can do a design that's either going to be wide or tall. It doesn't matter. Either way is fine. So there's just a couple things that you have to know when you're designing a bandsaw box. Okay. 1, don't make your drawers too small. If your drawers are really small, like my Toad bandsaw box here, okay, these drawers are too small. You can see the compartments there are really small, and it wasn't very safe cutting it. So what I had to do is I had to get out a clamp, and I had to put this in a clamp, a special fixture, so that I could cut it so my fingers weren't right next to the blade. And then you don't want to make circular drawers like this one either. Remember, if you cut a circle, when you cut the front and the back off of the drawer on the bandsaw, if it's a circle, it's going to roll. Okay, so I had issues with that, so what I ended up doing was I clamped it to a block that had a V groove cut into it, and then I sliced off the front and the back of it so it didn't roll. But that's kind of a pain in the butt, so just don't make your drawers round. You'll need to have a flat spot. So like this drawer right here is perfect. Okay, these drawers right here, this drawer right here is great. The reason why it's great is because it's really flat. So when I put it down on the bandsaw table and I cut this off right here, it was firmly on the table. There was no rocking or anything. So this drawer with this nice long flat bottom was really great. Okay, the bottom doesn't have to be flat, but you need a flat spot somewhere. There is an alternative to a flat spot. If you have a drawer that has 2 points, that would be fine. Okay, as long if you have a point in the front and a point in the back. So for example, if this drawer here, instead of being completely flat on the bottom, it would have been fine if the drawer would have had a bottom like this. The bottom would have curved up like that. That would have been fine because it would have had 2 solid points of contact on the bandsaw table, so it wouldn't have rocked. So I could have made that drawer have an arc in the bottom because I have 2 points of contact. All right, cool. Another thing that you have to think about is the drawer can't have any corners. Why can't the drawer have any corners? Well, it can have one corner. But why can't we do corners in our drawers? So the bandsaw can't do corners. Okay, bandsaw can only turn round. All right, so you can't have corners. You can have one corner. So like on Tristan Mallory's duck that I just showed you guys, at the bill of the duck was a corner. but what he did is he entered in at that spot and he exited at that spot. So then he had a point. So you can have 1 point on your drawer. You just can't have multiple points. Drawers, when you draw them, try to stick to either 1 or 2. Don't do more than 2 unless you got a really cool design and your drawers are a good size. You can do 3. Definitely don't do any more than 3, because the problem once you do more than 3 is the drawers start getting really small, and then you end up with something like, like this one here that's really tiny. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and draw out an idea for a bandsaw box. When you guys are sketching these out, they don't have to be perfect, but if you want to grab stuff that you can trace, that's fine. There's some tracing templates in the blue cart behind my computer over here, and you can trace that. You can trace bottle caps, you can trace bottles, you can bend books to trace around books, you can trace your shoe. I mean, whatever you want to find a good curve off of, you can trace it. So what I'm going to do for mine, see, I'll trace this mug so I get a nice round curve. I don't really know what I'm going to make this look like yet, but before you guys start drawing, you should probably have some sort of a general idea, but we'll see where this takes us. Okay, so I guess I'll have a curve on the top over there, and then I'll have a curve down here. And maybe at this point up here, I'll put my cup there. Alright, kind of looks like a wave, doesn't it? Alright, cool. So then, let's put a straight edge here. Hey, don't draw all the way out to the boundaries, because your box is going to be the size, but after you glue your boards together, if they're not all perfectly in line, we're going to have to trim it up a little bit. So you're probably going to lose about 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch off all 4 sides. So don't go all the way along the bottom. So draw it off the top a little bit, and when you draw a straight line, use a straight edge. Okay, I don't want any real sloppy lines. It doesn't have to be perfect, but let's do another little funky curve here. Let's just bring it straight down like this. One of the things you want to watch out for is like this here is going to be difficult to sand because it's on the inside and we can't really get a palm sander in there, so that's something you guys are going to have to be conscious of when you're drawing this. I had a student one year who wanted to do a bandsaw box that looked like a flame, so he had a box, and then he had like flames coming up off the top, sort of like that. Well, the problem with that then was, well, after you cut it with the bandsaw, how the heck do you sand in between the flames? So it really didn't look that great. So you want to try to avoid real tight spots and a whole lot of surface area on the outside of your box, otherwise it's going to get really hard to sand. Alright, so there's the outline of my box, and now maybe I'll go ahead and put some drawers in. Alright, so as far as drawers go, maybe what I'll do is I'll just do I'll do one big drawer. Okay, and I'm going to draw in corners on my drawer, but I'm going to have to erase those corners later, because remember, you can't have corners on your bandsaw box on the drawer. So I'll end up having to erase those and make them curves, but just for the sake of drawing it here in the beginning. Okay, so maybe I'll put a curve on it here. And I'll just freehand the rest of this. Alright, now for that right there, just gotta take this Powerade cap. No idea whose it is, but that's alright. Sure they don't have cooties. Alright, and we gotta round this corner over here as well. Alright, so I'll erase my corners. Now I'm not too worried about what you guys want to make the compartment look like, so the inside of the drawer where you'll put stuff. That compartment, you can figure that out when you cut this. The only part that I'm really worried about seeing is what the outside of your bandsaw box looks like, and then what the drawer is going to look like. And I can tell you if it's going to be possible or not. Or if it's going to look good, you know, if it's not going to look good, how hard it's going to be, that kind of thing. Now, I just did some random shapes here. If you guys want to do something in particular, that's fine. I've had students in the past, they did a whale, so that was a really neat bandsaw box. And I don't have any pictures of it, but I do have the practice piece that Jill cut. Kaya Brown did it, but this was her bandsaw box looked like that. And this was the drawer, and then the box was just a square around the whale. For my toad one that I just showed you guys here, this one, I don't know if I told you, that's supposed to be Toad from Super Mario, or from Mario. My inspiration for that was this right here. I saw that, and I couldn't quite do a bandsaw box that looked just like this, so I changed it up to look a little bit more like that. Bullet Bill would be a good one from Mario, or one of the ghosts from Pac-Man would be good. So if you want to do a video game character, like an 8-bit video game character, not like Modern Warfare or Halo, because that would probably be really difficult. But you could do some sort of a symbol. I've had people do Zelda. The Triforce. I've had people do a big C for the Cincinnati Reds. I've had people do all sorts of stuff. Alright. So what I want you guys to do now is go ahead, get on the internet, but the internet's down at the moment, so you can use your phone. But if the is the internet working now? Yeah. Okay, the internet's working now, so get internet, get some ideas down, and I just want you to sketch down, guys, I want you to sketch down 3 different ideas, completely different ideas, okay? 3 different ideas on paper, and make sure that you draw them inside of a box that's 5.5 by 9. All right? Go ahead and do that. That's what you guys are going to be working on for the period, and then we'll keep working on it on Monday.